The scariest article you'll read all day. All right, so we're going to go here, and this is my man Sundance over the Conservative Treehouse. He talks about the idiots in the Biden administration. If we call the Biden or the Putin tax hike for the gasoline, when gasoline prices plunge, how come we can't call it the Putin tax cut, price cut, whatever? But that's not even the point of this. The point of this is right here. My man Sundance, this guy over at Conservative Treehouse, is freaking, he rocks, man. I don't know who this guy is, but this guy kicks ass and take names. Read the Duke Report or you will eat the bugs. Oh, that is classic. Anyway, meanwhile, the Dallas Federal Reserve held its energy survey. There was some important feedback noted from the oil and gas industry. This is Sundance, who's even more well-read than this guy, which is some things. I'm sure other things I'm more well-read than him, but either way, I had not thought about some of these issues the professionals in the energy industry raised. The real energy crisis isn't even here yet. The U.S. EIA forecasts U.S. oil production average 12.5 million barrels per day for the next 30 years. This is all but impossible. Shale will likely tip into terminal decline in about 5 years as the main shale plays run out of location. So basically, we're getting the easy stuff. Unfortunately, by then, most of the individuals with incumbent knowledge about offshore and international development will have retired. The brain drain in the industry will create a real and much larger crisis in the mid to late 2020s. Are you hearing that? The brain drain is going to create a real crisis in about 5 years on energy, because energy feeds everything. Let's keep going. So right here, from the energy and production firms, exploration production firms in the oil and gas industry. Government animosity towards our industry makes us reluctant to pursue new projects. How can you not be reluctant when both Sniffy Joe was saying, look here, lady, to that stupid lady on some boat, I promise I will end fossil fuels. Then Obama says, yeah, under my plan, electricity prices will naturally have to go way up. The real energy crisis isn't even here yet. Yeah? The current administration declared war on fossil fuels before going into office, and they've continued that war to this day. Mixed messages from politicians remain unhelpful to longer-term projects and commitments. Politicians need the reminder that a barrel of oil does not go directly into the gas tank of a car. Broadly speaking, permitting of all kinds remains difficult, if not impossible, and the lead times are forever. I hope the industry can weather the outrageous current assaults and the tidal wave of more of them to come from this administration. Many companies are planning to exit the business. Although the question regarding availability of inputs does not affect me, has a significant impact on business decisions, especially whether or not to drill or participate in new wells. Yeah. And now analysts underestimate the impact of supply chain disruptions and loss of efficiency the contractors who can construct our wells as equipment maintenance is done on the job site and personnel have less training. Let's keep going here. Anyway, this reminds me actually of what's going on in California right now. So you might not have been following this, but Governor Jerry Brown's dad was in California before. So Jerry Brown's just another rich kid, man. I mean, just spoiled. It's like no different than Castro, Trudeau up there in Canada. It's just the same people. Oh, look, we get this with the Bushes. We get it with, all these people. It's just the same people. One guy gets in office and his brother, and it's insane. But anyway, long story. Jared Kushner riding his father-in-law's coattails. I mean, that guy's a con. Trump should have never. Anyway, all right, I don't want to get this. But this reminds me of right here. California drought. Why doesn't California build big dams anymore? This is from 2018, initially 2014. But this goes back to when Jerry Brown was first governor of California, and he came in as a big environmentalist, as all these guys did in the late 70s. And they were hell-bent on greening, solar. I mean, they're hell-bent on this stuff. And so what they did is back then, they said, we're not doing any more water building dams, water reservoirs, or anything like that. No more structures, no more building of future needs to protect us against droughts. None. In West California, well, California's a desert anyway. It's the insanity that we rely so much on California for our production of food. Well, that's just because of the the droughts of the Oklahomas in the Midwest in the 1930s. So they all went to California, and they they basically created water out of the melting of the Sierra Nevadas and stuff, which happens on a regular basis, by the way. But it's still a desert. I mean, you still shouldn't be growing the bulk of your food in a water barren land. That doesn't make any sense. But anyway, but we know that. And we've known that for years and years and years. And so there was no reservoirs building, no dams building, no pipelines to pump water, nothing under Jerry Brown. And you can blame Pete Wilson, you can blame Jerry Brown, but the facts are the Democrats have been in charge of the California for a long time, and the environmentalists, and now we're paying the price, and it's only going to get worse. Anyway, so this is in 2014. How much money drought-strict California should spend to build new dams was a big part of the debate over the recently signed, that Governor Jerry Brown signed last month in 2014, a $7.5 billion water bond on the November ballot. All right. Republicans and Central Valley Democrats have pushed hardest for new reservoirs, highlighted the fact that California built many of the world's most ambitious dam projects in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But a state or federally funded reservoir hadn't been built in 35 years because of environmentalists. But why did the era of big dams end? When California has built new roads, schools, universities, hospitals, and freeways. Experts say they're a confluence of factors from environmental laws. Yep. We have lived off the investment and sweat of the World War II generation, says this guy from the California Farm Bureau. We have done nothing for the future generations but put them in a real bind. The argument with California mired in its third straight year of drought carried enough weight for lawmakers to include $2.7 billion for new water storage. Now, voters in November can decide whether they start digging again. All right. Let's see. The 10 largest reservoirs in California, linchpins of the water system for 38 million people in the nation's largest economy, were all built between 1927 and 1979. And when did Jerry Brown get elected? I think it was 1979. Crazy. Since the Army Corps of Engineers cut the ribbon in 1979, California has grown by 15 million people. But they haven't built a new large reservoir since then. California's golden dam building era ended for 4 reasons. Well, environmental laws have made it more difficult to build large projects. Anyway, so now we're going back to here. Government animosity towards our industry makes us reluctant to build new projects. The real energy crisis isn't even here. Now, this is just we don't know if this could be true or not, but the brain drain, the lack of projects of nuclear, they're banning the pipelines, for heaven's sake. I want to say, why are the environmentalists now? They should be banning pipelines like crazy in Germany. Why aren't you going up there, you crazy environmentalists? Because you knew if you did, what would happen? You'd be freaking stomped. Anyway, this is what scares me, because we're living off the blood and sweat of previous generations, and we're not doing anything to advance the cause energy-wise. All part of a big plot to get us to go back. What did liberals use to light their homes before candles? Electricity. Yeah. What did liberals use to heat their homes before wood stoves? Electricity, oil, fossil fuels, nuclear power. Yeah. We're going back to the days of candles and wood stoves because these people. And yet somehow the Republican Party is like, as long as I get that green money. Right, Matt Gaetz? Right, what all those guys in the Bush administration? Yeah, and you thought you'd be the environmental president. That's George H.W. Bush, but Bush, same thing. It's like, but he was the oil and gas. Oil and gas is the biggest proponents of this crap because they want to eliminate competition. Anyway, so now they're like, maybe we should have struck it. And so you see right now, Southern Company. Let's see if Southern Company, let's take a look at their website. Let's take a look at Southern Company's website here. Hold on a sec. Learned about their Southern Company, their main page on green stuff, and the first thing got right there, sustainability. Sustainability. Let's see. Why is silence a shame on mental health on Southern Company's web? Oh, right there, sustainability, right on the front of the head. Just because this, hey, well, I do like, this is interesting. The first The world's first fast spectrum salt reactor. We'll see if that shakes out. I'm not holding my breath, but sustainability. Net zero and environmental priority is crazy. Let's just look at BlackRock again, shall we? BlackRock.com. Let's see if this is still front and center on their stupid website. Damn, how much I despise these people. I'm not going to lie to you. All right, back to volatile future. What's always been volatile. Stewardship. ECB. Let's see. Setting the BlackRock and housing, setting the record straight. Bonds. Well, where is it? Diving. Okay, that's interesting. They've right here. Now they've put this to the bottom here. Interesting. Finding an answer to a changing climate. Huh. That's interesting. Isn't that interesting? They put that towards the bottom. It used to be right front and center. Well, when things get tight, I love this. I cannot stand these people, man. I cannot stand these people. The guy should be sitting in orange. I just find it funny. Yeah. Corporate sustainability. All right, let's see. The road to net zero, way down here now, huh, BlackRock? Way down here. When this used to be front and center, man. Front and center. So, actually, let's just see what ExxonMobil's website shows. SO oil. SO oil. That's literally SO. Standard Oil. Remember when Standard Oil got broke up? We have SO. Yeah, Standard Oil. Crazy. The whole thing's nuts. I mean, the idea that Standard Oil was curtailed and John Rockefeller was, he took it on the chin. Nah, dude, the guy got it. Just the whole thing's crazy. All right, let's see about Exxon. How do we get to their website here? Exxon. Let's go to the website. Right here, ExxonMobil. Let's see what they say about sustainability. Right here, net zero. That's just. Exxon is helping reduce methane. I just can't take it. Anyway, so this is what's coming down the pike, my friends. So Europe is about 10 to 15 years in front of us because they're doomed, and we're coming next. Just be prepared. I mean, how do you be prepared? We got to make sure you have no debt first and foremost, because you're going to spend more and more of your free cash flow on heating, on cooling, on energy, and that won't be reflected in the current CPI. It just won't be. And remember, energy and food are not part of core CPI. All right, love your thoughts. We'll see you